Hi, y'all. My name's Lily, and I want to say that I voted Democrat and I voted for Hillary Clinton. And I started thinking about it when Trump won. It felt like there was like it couldn't have never happened, and it felt like there was like literally like a period of death or mourning or shock. And I think everyone, when I was watching the news, I think everyone had this like look of shock in their eyes, and we thought, how could this happen? How could Trump win? And I think it's because Trump had this message to make America great again, and it was a good slogan that he used, and it fired people up. And I don't think that his supporters necessarily wanted riots in the street. They didn't want misogyny. They didn't want, they're not against Muslim people. They're not against like all these other people. I really don't think at the core of these people that they are like this characteristic evil that we would be thinking of. I think though that they wanted the promise of getting jobs back, of getting things healed and restored in America. I don't think that they wanted to have animosity, civil war, and to marginalize other people of other races and stuff. Some of them might, but I don't think all of them at the core wanted those things. So I think that we need to relook at ourselves and kind of look at what we've done here. And we need to take away to find and unify everyone together, because protesting and rioting on the streets, while it's great and while I would actually probably want it to join you before I thought about it, that's not the answer to our problems. Our answer isn't to fight more evil with more evil. That's not going to work. That never works. We can't just go out there and say that we can start breaking things and start destroying things and start hurting others from both sides. Both sides can't be doing this, because you're only going to create more conflict and more animosity between both people. And when you create animosity and when you create grudges and when you create hate, you only keep creating hate and more hate and more hate and more hate. So darkness leads to darkness and more darkness. So what we need is light. And the only thing that we can do as light is to try to heal and listen to both sides. We need to listen, we need to mediate, we need to heal both sides of the bridge, so that both sides of the gap, so we can bridge people together and come together on a common ground. So we need strong leadership in this country, and that's what Trump had kind of promised. The Republicans were very savvy at what they did. They were very forthright. When you go to any news website, you notice that a lot of commentators are people who support Trump. People can be very loud, very boisterous about change. They want it, not just change, but they want it a restoration. So I think that we all need to come together. We need to start wanting and demanding a level of change that benefits us all in this country, not just one type of people, but for all people in this country. And I think that's how Trump kind of got people behind him who wouldn't otherwise have voted for him, like African Americans and Latinos for Trump, and the women who even voted for Trump, even though he brought out as someone who might have even assaulted women at one time. I think it's just because they were behind this strong message of "Make America Great Again." That's the same way, and I don't want to mention Hitler, and I really didn't want to get into it, but that's kind of like how Hitler won people over and was able to snake in, because he was able to give a promise of hope and light and a beacon, even though his ulterior motives, which we don't know Trump's ulterior motive yet, his ulterior motive was to have evil behind that. And you know, I would like to give. I think that Democrats and everyone alike to give Trump a chance. Maybe he, isn't like how he says he is, but I think that the climate of America, to where we're clashing in the streets, we're about ready to have a civil war over this. That's just not the correct answer either. So we need to find a way to have everyone's voices heard, and one of those ways was through the voting system. And the voting system is the very pinnacle of what led to Trump winning, through the Electoral College, through the electronic voting, through the voting lines, and even down to not even having voting day be like a holiday or something where people can take off and actually vote, because not everyone can vote by mail. in this country yet. So I think that we need to change the core of how we vote for a leader, and then we also need to be changing who our leaders are, and we need to be changing their message. We need to be having a message, not a divide, but a message that we hear everyone and we want to help you and we want to heal you. So that's really what needs to be done. And the Civil War and the fighting and fighting everyone, that's not going to work. And we need a different way to handle this. And we need that way today, and we need that way tomorrow. And we need to be setting up for our future as a country. Because Trump won, and there's really no other way besides impeachment or changing the electoral college on such a quick, harsh, and hash way to make that happen. So what we need to do is set up for tomorrow. We need to be looking towards bridging the gap between everyone for tomorrow, and when we need to start doing that now, today. So fighting is not the answer, and we need to start putting our thinking caps on to find a resolution and a way to heal everyone and to make America progress again in the way that it should be progressing. And we don't need to bring it back to 60 years ago or back to the civil rights movements and to civil wars. What we need to do is find a way to progress, find a way to touch down with everyone today so we can make tomorrow better for everyone here. So that's my message to you, is that we need to start thinking about that. So let's get to thinking. Let's try to start with the voting process and making that a more secure establishment to where we get voter holidays. It's a bipartisan movement. I think everyone should be given the day off to vote. Everyone should be given the right to vote, and everyone should be given the ability, the luxury to vote, because some people couldn't get to the polls and the polls closed or you had to wait in line. There needs to be another solution there. So I think that's what needs to happen. So we don't have this happening again. And then eventually we can talk about the Electoral College, removing that, and maybe even fasting a new way to figure out a fair way so everyone gets their voice heard here. So that's my message to everyone. And you can come see more of my videos on youtube.com/. Lily's Sizzling. I do cooking videos, and so I hope that you all hear this message. So let's start building for tomorrow today.